Imagine this: you have spent your entire life giving, devoting every ounce of your time, energy, and patience to the people around you. From your earliest days, you sacrificed your dreams, ambitions, and even your personal comfort for the sake of family, friends, your career, and sometimes even for strangers whose lives you touched in small yet profound ways. Every act of kindness, every moment of selflessness, and every sacrifice you made was a brick in the foundation of a legacy of love and care, a legacy you hoped would someday be recognized and cherished. Each gesture, however modest it may have seemed at the time, was part of a larger tapestry that defined who you are and what you believed in. Now, as you stand on the threshold of your later years, you find yourself pausing and reflecting on a bittersweet truth. You look around and ask, where did all that energy go? And more importantly, who is now giving back to me? The stark reality is that very few people will ever reciprocate the same measure of care you once offered so freely. Life moves relentlessly forward, and the vibrant world of the younger generation, absorbed in their own struggles, pursuits, and dreams, rarely has the capacity to mirror your lifelong generosity. For much of your life, you were conditioned to invest everything in others. In your youth, responsibilities demanded your utmost attention. Parents devoted themselves to nurturing their children. Professionals immersed themselves in their work, and friendships were forged through mutual support and shared sacrifices. You willingly placed the needs of others above your own, believing that such selflessness was both natural and necessary. For many years, this balance served you well, until the scales of giving no longer balance the scales of receiving. As the years accumulate, a painful realization begins to set in: the boundless care you once lavished on others is seldom, if ever, returned. The gratitude you might have hoped for, the attention, or even the companionship you longed for, now seem like distant memories. It is as if your decades of sacrifice have been absorbed into the background of a world that never pauses to acknowledge your contributions, a world where the vibrant dreams of youth overshadow the quiet needs of those who have given so much. At this critical juncture, you face a pivotal choice. Do you continue to deplete your precious, finite energy on others, or do you finally choose to invest in your own well-being? Old age is not a time to chase after fleeting validation from those too busy with their own lives. It is a time to reclaim what you have so selflessly given away: your energy, your peace, and above all, your self-respect. This reclamation is not an act of selfishness. It is essential self-preservation. To begin this journey of reclaiming your energy, you must start by setting firm, uncompromising boundaries. Learn the power of saying no to obligations that drain you, and understand that it is not your responsibility to meet every demand placed upon you. Letting go of the ingrained need to be needed is a radical act of self-care. Shifting your focus inward is not a betrayal of your past. It is an acknowledgement that your well-being is the foundation upon which everything else must be built. Imagine rediscovering the interests and passions you once set aside. Picture yourself walking alone in nature, where every step brings a quiet clarity, and the gentle sounds of rustling leaves and distant birdsong remind you of the beauty of the present moment. Visualize the pleasure of diving into a long-forgotten book, its pages filled with stories and wisdom that resonate deeply with your soul. Envision yourself practicing mindfulness, where every breath helps reclaim the time and energy you once gave away so freely. These acts of self-care, far from being mere indulgences, are vital necessities. In the later chapters of life, your energy becomes an exceedingly limited resource, and investing it wisely in pursuits that nurture both body and mind is the only way to ensure you remain whole and resilient. Each mindful moment and each small act of self-nourishment contributes to a renewed sense of strength, enabling you to face the future with dignity and grace. For many years, you gave without expectation, believing that each selfless act contributed to a better world. But now you must understand that reclaiming your energy is not about abandoning others. It is about no longer abandoning yourself. It is a powerful shift in perspective. After a lifetime of giving, the one person who most deserves care, attention, and peace is you. Your journey towards self-investment begins with this understanding. In your youth, there was an overwhelming compulsion to speak, to explain, justify, and prove your worth in every conversation. You engaged in endless debates, trying to correct misunderstandings, always feeling the need to make others see how much you had sacrificed. You believed that by speaking louder or more persuasively, you could win the recognition you so deeply craved. Yet, over time, you came to see the futility in that approach. Most people, you realize, do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen simply to respond, seeking only to affirm their own beliefs rather than engage in meaningful dialogue. This realization teaches you that sometimes silence is more powerful than words. It frees you from the exhausting cycle of constantly trying to justify your life's choices and sacrifices. This is where silence reveals its extraordinary power. Choosing silence is not about succumbing to passivity or weakness. It is an act of deliberate control, an acknowledgement that not every thought requires a response. By embracing silence, you liberate yourself from the endless need to explain, allowing you to conserve your energy for what truly matters, and to listen deeply to the wisdom within. In that silence, you discover the profound strength of observation. You begin to notice subtle patterns in human behavior, the unspoken cues that reveal who is secure in their identity and who is merely seeking validation. You learn that, regardless of how logical or well-intentioned an argument may be, most people are unwilling to shift their perspectives. In these quiet moments, you reclaim energy that would otherwise be wasted in fruitless debate. With the wisdom of age comes a transformative new perspective, a vantage point that allows you to step back from the chaos of everyday interactions and simply observe. In your younger years, you felt compelled to intervene, to correct what you perceived as wrong, and to offer unsolicited advice. But as the years have passed, you have learned that most people are not ready to accept guidance. They must learn their lessons in their own time, even if it means repeating mistakes you have long outgrown. This realization brings with it the liberating value of detachment. You begin to appreciate that true wisdom often lies not in constant conversation, but in the quiet, reflective moments of observation. You see that people reveal their true selves not through their words but through their actions when no one is watching, and this insight allows you to focus your energy on what truly matters. One of the greatest sources of suffering you come to understand is the relentless need for external approval. For decades, you molded your actions and decisions around how others would perceive you, seeking validation from family, friends, colleagues, and even strangers. This deep-seated desire to be seen as valuable and to have your sacrifices recognized as part of being human. Yet, over time, you realize that external validation is fleeting and ultimately unfulfilling. The endless chase for approval only leaves you feeling emptier and more disappointed. True liberation comes from recognizing that your self-worth is not granted by others. It must be cultivated from within. In these later years, the only opinion that truly matters is your own. By letting go of the need to justify your choices or seek constant approval, you unlock a freedom that is both profound and enduring. Reflect on the sacrifices of your earlier years, and consider how much energy you devoted to those around you. In the rush of youth, you assumed an inexhaustible reserve of time and vitality. You prioritized work, family, and social obligations, often at the expense of your own needs. But as you grow older, the reality becomes undeniable. Neglecting yourself comes at a steep price. Your body, after decades of tireless service, now demands care and attention as a matter of survival and dignity. Regular physical activity, nourishing food, ample rest, and mindful practices are no longer optional luxuries. They are essential for maintaining your strength, independence, and quality of life. Those who continue to actively care for themselves preserve not only their physical health, but also their inner vitality, allowing them to remain vibrant and resilient, even as the years pass. Mental well-being, too, is of utmost importance. The later years should be a time for cultivating inner peace, joy, and mental clarity, not a period defined by stress, conflict, or lingering regrets. Surround yourself with experiences that enrich your life, engaging conversations that stimulate your mind, quiet moments in nature that soothe your soul, and creative pursuits that ignite your passion. Let go of past grievances and release the heavy burden of unresolved conflicts. Understand that while you may have spent your younger years selflessly caring for others, it is now time to focus on your own inner world. The greatest act of self-respect is acknowledging that your happiness and well-being are not optional extras. They are the very foundation of a life lived with dignity and purpose. Inevitably, a profound truth emerges. If you do not prioritize yourself, no one else will. You may have dedicated your entire life to putting others first, clinging to the hope that your sacrifices would eventually be recognized and your kindness reciprocated. Yet, as time marches on, the harsh reality becomes clear. The energy you gave so abundantly is rarely returned in equal measure. This realization is not a call to bitterness but a wake-up call. A reminder that your most important responsibility is to yourself. There is no reward for neglecting your personal happiness for the sake of those who may never truly appreciate your efforts. If you do not actively nurture your own peace, well-being, and fulfillment, you will ultimately be left with nothing but regret.
The time has come to redirect your energy inward and invest in the one relationship that matters most, the relationship with yourself. The later years of life should not be spent waiting for external validation, appreciation, or companionship from those too absorbed in their own lives. Instead, they should be embraced as a time of self-sufficiency, a period where you learn to cherish your own company and find joy within yourself. Choosing yourself is not an act of selfishness. It is a liberating declaration that your joy, health, and inner peace are the cornerstones of a fulfilling life. It means setting clear boundaries with those who drain your energy, and stepping away from relationships that no longer serve a positive purpose. Pursue the passions that bring you genuine happiness without needing permission or approval from anyone else. Too many people enter their final years feeling used, exhausted, or forgotten simply because they never learned how to put themselves first. Yet there is immense power in choosing differently, a power that comes from understanding that life does not slow down for anyone. If you continue waiting for others to prioritize you, you will be left waiting indefinitely. The only true control you have lies in your own actions, your mindset, and the decisions you make each day. By taking charge of your own well-being, you reclaim the energy that is rightfully yours, and create space for a life filled with purpose and joy. In the autumn of your life, one truth becomes unmistakably clear. Happiness is not something handed to you. It is something you must claim for yourself. The sooner you accept this truth, the sooner you can begin to live your remaining years with the peace, freedom, and self-respect you so deeply deserve. Release the endless need for external validation, and embrace your own truth. Recognize that your self-worth comes from within, not from the approval of others, and let that understanding guide your every decision. As you reclaim your energy and focus on what truly matters, you pave the way for a life lived entirely on your own terms, a life enriched by inner peace, personal joy, and an unwavering sense of self-worth. Every step you take toward self-care and self-respect is a step away from regret, and toward a future where you are the most cherished person in your life. Let these reflections serve as a constant reminder in the quiet moments of introspection. As you reclaim your energy and learn to put yourself first, you unlock the strength to live without compromise. True peace is not found in the fleeting praise of others, but in the deep, abiding understanding of who you truly are. In choosing to invest in yourself, you embrace a freedom that no external force can ever diminish. This freedom allows you to live authentically, cherishing every precious moment, while honoring the person who has given so much throughout a lifetime. It is a testament to the power of self-respect and the profound transformation that comes from recognizing your own value above all else. May you find the courage to set boundaries, the wisdom to value your own needs, and the strength to claim the peace and fulfillment that are rightfully yours. As you continue on this journey, remember that every day is an opportunity to reclaim a little more of your energy, to nurture your body and mind, and to live with the self-respect and joy that comes from knowing you are truly worth the care you now choose to give yourself.